As parents, we try our best to protect our kids. But do we teach them enough about how to protect themselves? I'm William Shatner. Tonight, true stories of people whose lives are in danger and the heroes, young and old, who try to help on Rescue 911. We begin in a peaceful suburban neighborhood outside Atlanta, Georgia, just after Christmas of 1989.
When I started crying and screaming, I didn't know what to do.
The pressure of saving a child, for some reason, that is a big pressure.
It was going over and over again in my mind that he was going to die.
On this Wednesday afternoon, Linda Bledsoe had a quick errand to run. She left her 10-year-old daughter, Michelle, in charge of her 3 younger kids.
Fred, you know what to do. I told Michelle just to put in a tape in the VCR for the 2 little ones so that they wouldn't be under her feet in her room. She had chores to do.
Kimberly and Rufus, give me a kiss.
She's very good with the kids. I don't hesitate to leave her. She's babysat for me quite often. The little ones listen to her sometimes better than they do me.
Michelle, behave.
To help keep her little brother and sister entertained, Michelle decided to open one of her Christmas presents, a new videotape.
It had plastic and some cardboard at the bottom of it. I couldn't get it open, so I told Kimberly to go into the kitchen to get a butter knife. In the meantime, I had already cut it open with my nail. So just cut this in the garbage. It ended up being a very sharp knife, and I just told her to go put it back.
From upstairs, 7-year-old Jessica heard her brother's screams.
What happened? He was stabbed right below the chest, and it was a deep cut. Don't let him move. I didn't know what to do because I was so scared. But then I calmed myself down, and I called my father.
Picked up the phone, and it was Michelle, and she said that Rufus had been stabbed. I said, call 911.
When we continue.
Police department, can I help you?
When 4-year-old Kimberly accidentally stabbed her little brother in the stomach with a knife, the responsibility for what to do rested with her 10-year-old sister, Michelle.
Cab emergency 911.
Her call came into dispatcher Russell Jones.
This is 3-year-old at my house. I'm babysitting alone. He just got stabbed with a very sharp knife, and I need help. Oh, God.
Is this an apartment complex, ma'am, or a house?
No, it's the house.
It's a house? You say he got stabbed?
Excuse me?
You said he got... Ma'am, listen, I need you to talk to me and not talk to that person. Listen, you say he got stabbed?
Yes, it is a very sharp knife, and I need help. I don't know where my mother is. I called my father. He's at work, and he's on his way.
I'd only been in the 911 system for a month and a half. And so when this call came in, I didn't think I was ready for it.
Oh, God, I am so scared.
How old is he?
He is, I think 3, and he'll be 4 in February.
Okay, ma'am, keep himself down as best you can. What's your last name?
My last name is Bledsoe.
Bledsoe?
Yes.
She said one child had been stabbed by another child. So I understood that it was an accidental thing.
An ambulance already in the field was dispatched to the scene.
Okay, man, we have somebody on the way. They'll be there as soon as possible.
I'm sorry, it's getting worse.
Keep him calm, man. You got to keep him calm. We have somebody on the way. He'll be there as soon as possible.
Stay calm, you guys. Stay calm. He'll be all right, I think.
But you can't scream at him and tell him to be calm. You got to try to calm down so that you can help him calm down, okay?
Okay, Kimberly, go get his blanket. Kimberly ran upstairs into his room. She knows exactly where his blanket is. Jessica just kept him company, holding his hand real tight, going, Daddy will be home as soon as he can. I was scared to death. that he might die.
There's a point in the car where there's no talking, there's just screaming. I was trying to think of what would be most comforting to say to her at that point. Being able to just pick and choose the right conversation to try to get this person's mind off that emergency, unfortunately, doesn't come really easily.
Are you babysitting or something there?
Yes, I'm 10 years old. I'm too scared. Nothing has ever happened like this before.
Ma'am?
Yes.
Okay, we have the police and the EMS on their way.
The first rescue workers to arrive were paramedics David Stevens and his partner, Kathy Moncrief.
Children were crying, extremely upset.
What happened, girl? What happened?
The feeling in the air was just all in an uproar.
The emotions that are running through your mind, you have to do something quick, you've got to do something now. All of your energies are directed straight to this child to make sure this child is going to make it.
Okay, Rufus, easy.
He acted afraid of us and didn't want us to touch him. It took us a minute to get on his level and get him in communication with us so that we could calm him down and, treat him in a rational manner.
Officer Janetha Baines was on patrol in the area when she got the dispatch about the stabbing.
When I first looked at the wound, I looked at how open it was and how deep it was. I had to keep the other children calm because they were crying and screaming, and there was not an adult there that could have kept them under control.
Just breathe in real, real deep. All right.
When we realized how bad it was, and we realized Rufus needed a children's trauma center, so we called for the helicopter.
Police officer Jay Rosdick was patrolling DeKalb County from the air when he got the call.
Our normal mission is police work, but we back up the ambulance service within the county. We know that anytime they call us, it's a life-critical situation, and so time is of utmost importance.
Level consciousness.
This was a very dangerous situation. The length of the knife, it could easily have lacerated the kidney, the aorta, the spleen, any number of organs inside the body that are real dense in blood.
Additional officers were sent to the scene to help secure a safe helicopter landing zone in the front yard.
I could look down and see the ambulance and police cars, so I knew the exact location. It was a very slow approach because there was a lot of wires, a lot of obstruction.
Within 5 minutes, the helicopter was on the scene.
Children bring an emotion out in people that is unequaled. Paramedics are just as susceptible to that as anyone else. You really have to concentrate on your job to keep from getting wrapped up in that emotion.
Rufus had already been airlifted out by the time his father and mother got home.
When I saw the police officers and everything, I wasn't scared until I walked in and saw my daughter's face and found out from my husband what happened.
My parents raised me so good that I don't know how to explain it. They raised me so good, and I'm really proud of them because without them, he'd be dead right now.
5 months later, after a successful operation, Rufus is on his way to a full recovery. Trauma surgeon Dr. Paul Parker explains.
I think Rufus is a very lucky kid in a number of ways. One, that his knife injury was not more serious and that it didn't hit his heart or a major artery in his abdomen. He's also lucky that he got medical attention very quickly, and he's got an older sister who knows how to use telephone.
I think it's extremely important for any parent to teach their children about emergency situations. And 911's the answer.
I thought that Michelle did a really good job because she called my dad the ambulance and the police and everybody. I'm glad Rufus is okay. I think Michelle saved Rufus's life. I got her by a knife. And now better now.
I see a bond between all the kids, but probably more so between little Rufus and Michelle because they are the youngest and the oldest, and they do tend to favor each other a lot.
He's a real crazy boy, but we all love him. We miss him if he was gone.
Next.
Corley was a murderer. He didn't have anything to lose, and I knew he didn't have anything to lose.
You want to die?